When you do launch into your section, you're going to see a completely redesigned section homepage. This is now going to launch you immediately onto Manage Assignments, where you're going to have things brought more front and center for you, which we'll be going over several of the pieces, but you'll be seeing capabilities to quickly launch things, things that'll give you flexibility around actions you need to take, as well as quick insights into how your students are progressing through the actual assignments that you have. Now, we know many of you, when you are first getting ready to go in the new term, you're very interested in reviewing the instructor resources. So on the left-hand panel here that you'll now see with the new workflow, you'll be able to quickly launch instructor resources, and you can go ahead and quickly, within a click or two, right, download any of the resources that are going to be very important for you. Along with that, we know as well that either if you're new to teaching a course or you are returning, you always need to be able to quickly access the course materials. So we designed that into the left-hand panel here as well. So that way, one click gets you immediately to either accessing your current materials with the ebook here or looking at additional learning resources that are appropriate for your particular course. So really building those in, right, to where you can quickly get to those pieces. Now, we've heard from many instructors over the years, right, that several of you work with a number of instructors for even just one course. And so making sure that we're simplifying the workflow for you to be able to add on an instructor to help deliver the course for you. You'll now see that as well on the left-hand side where you can, at the beginning of the term, say, add any instructors that you would like to add by just selecting add. And then again, adding up to 10, or just in this case, I'm going to add one. And then I'm able to just quickly have that updated for me. In the same screen, you're also able to, for any coordinators that might have joined us today, if you share your courses or share your section with other instructors versus just adding instructors to help you with one particular section, you're also able to see and search by any of those instructors that you might have shared with, just so that that way you're keeping a reminder of who you shared with, maybe who you still need to share with, and what type of permissions that you've allowed with that particular share. So some of these redesigned instructor workflows are also going to be saving you time with seeing an added search capability in here. We know that some of you are working with, 20 or more instructors, so being able to just quickly search to get to an instructor that you've shared with is also going to be designed in. And you'll see a lot of these efficiencies around time-saving capabilities with many of the workflows that we'll go over today. So beyond instructors, another piece that we want to make sure that you're aware of is the redesigned workflow with the student roster. So going back to the left-hand panel here, when you click on student roster now, you're going to again see that search functionality. So if I had, for instance, a student who needed a personal time extension that was going to be, of course, for the duration of the course, I don't have to scroll down anymore to find that student. I can quickly search by that student and go into the options now, where then I can find the personal time extension and I can apply my preference around that or what's needed, right? So in this case, I'm going to apply a percentage and I'm going to make that 50% more time. So just again, once you apply that, instantly seeing, right, that it's been applied for that particular student. But throughout a term, we understand you have to be flexible. You have a number of students that are enrolled in your particular course or your section, but that's not always going to stay the case throughout the term, right? You might have students who choose to go to a different section, or you might also have students who choose to drop the course for whichever reason. And so you'll also be able to quickly go to the options and be able to archive a student as you need to. but always giving you the flexibility, right, to go back and forth between archiving students and your active students, just giving you that quick access to make sure that as things change or modifications are needed, that you're able to keep that student roster up to date and clean. Now, after you've got some assignments created or you've modified some of your assignments, we know that sometimes you're thinking about the organization of your course in Connect and thinking about how that mirrors the organization that you might have structured on your learning management system. So with that, you're able to now tap into organize. And this is going to take you to now an expanded screen that's going to allow you a few different things that you can do. Always allowing you to search by a particular assignment. So if you've forgotten where you might have placed something in a particular folder design, you're able to see where that is placed. Otherwise, you're able to quickly manage or create new folders. If you need to edit folders and you're thinking about the folder configuration that you have on your learning management side, it's very easy for you now to quickly get into this flow and make those modifications. When it comes to thinking about organizing your individual assignments versus just folders, you have a few different ways that you can go about that. You can click on the actual folder itself, and you can choose the options here that allow you to quickly move to the top, move to the bottom, or just freely move it around. But then you can also, if you click into the folder, select an individual, say, assignment here. And I'm going to go ahead and expand this one. And I can grab this assignment and I can position that into a different folder. So flexibility to reorganize the flow in the way that you see fit. And I'm going to go ahead now and kind of move that back down. Anything that you modify in this particular page is automatically saved. So you don't need to worry about clicking a save button. You'll see here that week 1 quiz is right under my ungrouped folder assignments. And when I go and click back on my section home or my manage assignments, I'm now going to see that it's in that same organization. So what you'll be able to do now is quickly click into assignment actions where you'll see share assignments. And here is where we updated the language to make it more clear. So as you're sharing an assignment, you can either share a restricted copy, which just is meaning that you're limiting editing capabilities for who you're sending it to, or you can share an unrestricted copy. So that just meaning that that individual can make any types of modifications that they want from the content down to the due dates, policies, etc. So in this case, I'm going to share an unrestricted copy so that you can see the workflow. Again, always designing in that search bar so that I can quickly get to that specific assignment that I created, knowing that I have a long list of assignments and I do not have time to scroll through all of those. So I'm going to go ahead and select that assignment. And then the last step with sharing a particular assignment to a colleague would just be adding in their email. So in this case, I'm going to type this in, but again, you might be working with 10 or more instructors, and so just you can add in as many as you would need. And this workflow, right, I'm able to just quickly send it to that particular instructor section, knowing that you might be teaching this same course term over term. So if you have a list, say, of like 20 instructors here, and you need to be very intentional on which section you're sending this particular copy of the assignment to, you can quickly use that search, get to that individual and see all of the section options and make sure you're selecting the right one. And then the last piece that we know you've got to be really flexible around on the fly that I want to make sure you're aware of with some of our bulk capabilities with assignment actions is just thinking about how you might have an unexpected schedule change and it might be impacting multiple assignments. So in that case, you're needing to make adjustments to dates. So when you're coming to assignment actions, you can quickly click on manage assignment dates now, and you're in a similar workflow to what you've seen previously. So again, whether you need to search by that particular assignment and you need to make that adjustment, or if you actually need to click on a couple of assignments that need to have that same associated new due date, you are able to quickly tap into that. Let me add that in here. And then you're able to apply those changes. So in this case, I had one active assignment. I had another one that wasn't quite active yet, but something happened in my term and I really needed to be quick on the fly with making that adjustment.